Ks. We are here with another Tarot Study Buddy. So Tarot Study Buddy is where you send me your personal readings that you've struggled to unpack. Because from beginning to professional, we all struggle to look at our difficult personal truths. And so my friend has sent in a reading where they were looking for advice for upcoming struggles, to be aware. And the first card that they pulled was the Devil. And they knew exactly what this meant. Part of why they did this reading, in fact, is because they have been on the road to recovery from addictions. And so when they pulled the Devil, they knew that this was this signifier of the reading, letting them know that this advice was about making sure that they, have some foresight traveling through this recovery road, because it has lots of bumps. It's a difficult road, and it's one you need to be aware of and stay on top of. And so this is my friend was looking for advice along this line, and tarot came right up clear as day for her, saying, yeah, we have some advice to help you on your recovery road, for the week ahead. So my friend then pulled the Nine of Swords, and they understood the message here loud and clear. Well, my friend used an RWS clone. I am using the Kaleidodope Tarot because this card here, especially this Nine of Swords, described precisely what my friend described as what this card was showing. The anxieties and the worries in their mind, the things that they stress over in ways that they blow out of proportion, and that this is an impact of the addiction issues that they've had, and they are getting counseling to help work on this and to stay on top of it. And when they're feeling this way, to be in awareness. Sorry, I have notes of their thoughts, which was very clear. To be in awareness of that this is a difficulty that can draw them back into their addictions, to fall off that road a little bit, to fall down a little bit. And yeah, I agree. This is very clear. And it is wonderful that my friend is so aware of how much, the mind impacts addictions and sobrieties. I myself have been clean 26 years from addictions. And I know from a road that's been a road of recovery so long and so successfully, that understanding my traumas, and B, the impacts of my traumas on my mind and how I think and respond is really helpful in not falling down on this long and bumpy road. I agree completely with my friend's assessment. The next two cards for my friend had them stumped some, and this was the Three of Swords and the Four of Coins. They said, I don't get it. I'm not in a relationship, and I'm not a greedy miser. All right, let's start with one. You're not in a relationship. We can have our heart broken outside of romantic relationships. And frequently when we're dealing with addictions, sometimes it begins from a broken relationship, but a lot of times it really goes back to where our heart was broken as a child. And another reason I chose this deck, our hearts can get deflated. And that's what that's a part of trauma, is having our hearts deflated. And this card is asking you to recognize You know, those moments when your heart is deflated for what they are, in the same way as this. That these two cards go together. This card doesn't go with the Four of Coins. It goes with the Nine of Swords. As much as you're concentrating on those worries and anxieties, concentrate on the healing that needs to go on, and understanding that your heart has been deflated and it is sensitive. And you know what? Find ways and places to fill it up, which again doesn't necessarily mean a romantic partnership if that's not what you are wanting. But also, I just want to clarify a concern that has come into my mind at this point. My friend, if you are afraid that you can't have relationships because you're a broken person, I'm going to agree that beginning relationships while you're in recovery is difficult, because you're re-beginning a relationship with yourself. Just like in polyamory, it's difficult to begin two relationships really close together while you're beginning a relationship with one person. It can be very hard to begin a relationship with yourself as well as beginning a relationship with someone else. But you don't need to be the perfection, the picture of perfect healing to be ready for relationships, to be ready for close relationships, romantic or otherwise. You need to be doing the work and feel ready to trust and go out there again. You also have to learn to trust again in order to learn to reinflate your heart. And I'm not saying that's something you should necessarily do right now. You know, you're in a relationship to get to know yourself, but don't be afraid to inflate your heart. Being loved is a huge aspect of healing trauma, because for most of us, if experiencing trauma is a feeling of not being loved, protected, or safe. So being loved is a healing thing. Four of Coins. I don't think you're a greedy miser either. I don't think the tarot thinks you're a greedy miser, my dear. You are not a greedy miser. Okay? Not a greedy miser. All right. So let's look at it then. When we come out of addictions, we are often encouraged to heavily focus on all the things we will gain and achieve in a material world when we are recovering from addictions. It's unfortunately and frequently held up as the pinnacle of what your sobriety can and will achieve. Being traumatized, and in my friend's case, marginalized in other ways, and recovering from addictions. These are all things that marginalize you and take privilege from you in society. Gaining all the privileges one had prior to trauma and addictions, if there was any, is one thing. Claiming privilege one didn't even have prior to that is a whole nother thing. It is not a marker of your success in your sobriety. And it creates a huge scarcity mindset as you try to achieve and create the ideal middle-class lifestyle that you know, you're being told every non-addict can have and can achieve. No. Is it? It's, this card is warning you that some of your anxiety and deflation and worry along the way right now is that you're feeling frustrated, that you're not making progress in this hierarchical, cruel, capitalist world. That is not a marker of your sobriety. Building a healthy relationship with yourself, and from there building healthy relationships of all kinds with other people, that is a marker of of sobriety. That is a marker of sobriety, and it fills that deflated heart back up and makes it stronger against the calls of addiction to trauma. Keep working and getting counseling and support, but find those who see the value of the work of building a prosperous relationship with yourself and other people to overcome your addictions, versus those who are like, when you get back to school and get this great job and are buying a house, you'll know you succeeded. No, that's not a marker of success that every sober person in this world achieves. There's plenty of sober people who are still underprivileged and are held on the outsides by a hierarchical capitalist society. That's not a marker of your sobriety. All right? It's not a marker of your worth. It's not a marker of your sobriety. It's not a marker of your self-worth. Your relationship with yourself and with others is what counts. And I think if you talk to your counselor about building and learning to value your relationship with yourself and others, they can absolutely help you with that. And would largely agree. They might not agree with the anti-capitalist assessment, but they would probably agree that sobriety is not a marker of yourself, or that financial success is not a marker of your self-worth or your sobriety. Okay? So to wrap up this reading, all four of these cards are cards where we can get really stuck and single-minded in their Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. And so, you know, through two of them, my friend pulled through and saw the answers. Through the other two, there was a struggle. And that's pretty good. 2 for 2. That's pretty good when I'm looking at interpersonal stuff that I need to unpack. But, you know, the impacts of the messages from society that these two cards bring about relationships, about self-worth, about giving, receiving, the complexities of achieve and gain as much as you can, but don't be a greedy miser. We dislike you on all ends. It's confusing and difficult to unpack these understandings of these cards in real life. And so furthermore, we see them difficult to unpack sometimes in tarot. But I think my friend did a great job. All right. Please consider participating in Tarot Study Buddy. I help you. We both together help so many more people who are watching these videos. Check out my website. Consider subscribing to my email list. I send out 1 email a month, so you're not going to get spammed. And it has great things in it. as a tarot spread and everything, a call to action, what's going on in my business, in a feature deck or card, or something about reading tarot and oracle. And it also includes a discount, includes a monthly discount, only available to email subscribers. So do consider that. And while we're on the subject, I totally forgot. Like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you know when I'm having new videos, which I also try and keep pretty dependable. Every Wednesday, Tarot Study Buddy. Every Saturday, Ask Aunty K. And occasionally another video throughout the week as extra content. See you all later. Have a great week. And keep practicing and journaling and digging in deeper to your darkest secrets.